You know what we should do? We should check the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It continues its march to now 14-year highs. Here's the latest. Today, the average 30-year fixed rate has hit 6.33%. Yes, a year ago, it was just 3.29%. So as mortgages climb higher, home sale prices are now starting to fall below the list price. We haven't seen that in a long time. RE/MAX, which has more than 100,000 real estate agents across the country, just released its August National Housing Report. Now look at the average close to list price ratio. According to RE/MAX data, unlike the last year when many houses were selling well over their listing price, I mean, it was crazy, right? The average home last month sold 1% below its list price. That's down from July when the average home sold 1% above its listing price. So as we start to see crucial fissures in the housing market, what are the trends and what are they saying, no matter how minute, about the entire housing market? RE/MAX CEO Nick Bailey is here in a Fox Business exclusive. What do you read into that close to list price?
Well, hi, Liz. What it says loud and clear is we are rebalancing or returning to a more balanced market. I mean, let's face it, we've had over 125 consecutive months of run-up in pricing. And in the last 2 years, that's been double-digit in most markets. That's just not sustainable long-term, but it has added a lot of seller equity. But as we return to a more balanced market, this means that there's opportunity for buyers. More inventory. They're not bidding against one another, and they've got an opportunity to negotiate, and that's good for most buyers.
And Nick, you know this, and hopefully our viewers do, but if they don't, we, unlike other business networks, don't assume that everybody knows everything. When the Fed hikes rates, they are not hiking the 30-year fixed rate, but indirectly, mortgage rates can be affected. And we have certainly seen that with this trajectory of the Fed raising and tightening, and right now we don't see an end in sight, we've seen these mortgage rates go so high that it's deterring buyers, is it not?
I'm glad that you mentioned the fact that these rates are not directly tied to mortgage rates. It's more about the 10-year Treasury. In fact, last hike that the Fed made, the 10-year Treasury actually went down and mortgage rates fell a little bit. But here's the reality. We know that the Feds are putting the brakes on to control inflation, and that's going to affect housing and even indirectly affect mortgage rates. But at the end of the day, we know that people form families, they get married, they buy homes. Regardless of what's happening. And because we came off a record year of 21 with 6.112 million homes sold, anything less than is going to be exactly that. But when you look at now, people are talking about the return to adjustable rate mortgages, the 5/1 ARM, 7/1 ARM, which are lower than the 30-year fixed. And so those were more than 35% of the mortgage products pre-pandemic. It dropped to single digits, and these alternates are coming back, which means buyers have choice. It's not only the 30-year fixed that people should be looking at.
Absolutely. But Nick, what are you hearing from your agents in the trenches? You can't tell me that we're seeing the bidding wars and the lines to come see open houses that we did a year ago, right?
We're not seeing those. No, it's not a parking lot in front of open houses. But that's exactly what I mentioned. That's a return to a balanced market. Average days on market is showing a little bit longer. But what's interesting, even though the median home sales price in August dropped from July 2.4%, there was something unexpected that happened in August. Home sales were actually up 5.3% from July, which shows that housing and the demand for housing is still strong. We're estimating there's still between 4 and 4.5 million homes that we're short across the country. And so as long as demand remains high, it is going to continue to provide opportunity for buyers. But the reality is sellers have to know they have to price right, because it is not completely a seller's market in their favor any longer.
But agreed, because all you have to do is look at the debt to income ratio. And right now for new buyers, we understand it's on par with the levels that we haven't seen since 2008, just before the housing bubble burst. So again, when you really look at the ability for people to afford a mortgage now, just as, say, for example, the news breaking at noon p.m., at least on the Wall Street Journal website, saying that the Gap is about to cut 500 jobs. In fact, not only that, this always scares me, they're going to eliminate open positions. They're not filling positions. We're hearing that a lot. So does that mean that people who were planning to sell their home, because we're also seeing this trend, are now saying, wait a minute, let me rent it out, get some money every month in rent so I can cover the the cost of actually running the house, and I'll just wait till the market kind of calms down a little bit here or recovers, so to speak. Is that a mistake?
Well, we have some people that are looking at it as, let's put the home on the market now, because we have buyers that are saying, let's get in before rates even go higher. So there is still kind of a rush to the market with some buyers, but it absolutely has slowed down from, say, where it was a year ago by about 20% on transaction numbers. In terms of the debt to equity, affordability remains a hot topic. You know, from 1983, 1984, all the way through about the peak of 2010, debt to income rose. It had a couple of slight dips. It obviously fell during the Great Recession. That housing led us into that, but it has come up a bit. Now, as wages increase, and by the way, as you know, we're still sitting with record low unemployment. And at the end of the day, one of the number one drivers people buying houses is if they have jobs. And so as long as unemployment remains low, even with rates moving around a bit, I believe that we're still going to continue to see a fairly strong housing market.
Nick Bailey of Remax, thank you so much. And Nick makes an excellent point. You never know what the market and what rates will do even after the Fed tightens. So this is important, you guys. All the Fed action begins tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, with the Fed rate decision. They will announce it at that point. And then starting at 2:30 p.m. in Charles Payne's show, Fed Chair Jerome Powell begins his news conference. That, of course, carries, and this is so important, right into the 3 p.m. final hour of trade. He will answer all the questions from the press, and depending on what he says and depending on the question, the markets may very well spike or drop. You just don't know. We are going to watch every tick of it. We've got really smart people who are going to give post-game analysis and reaction right here on the Claimant Countdown. As I said, set the DVR if you can't watch it live.